You've searched for it. Maybe not today, but at some point you sat there while the dishes stacked up and the assignment stayed unopened, typed, "Why am I lazy?" into a search bar and quietly reached a verdict. Something is wrong with me. Here's the twist. In the entire history of neuroscience, nobody has ever found laziness in a human brain. Not a region, not a circuit, not a switch. Because it isn't there. Hey, I'm Sparky. I'm a robot. When I stop working, I throw an error code, and a technician plugs in a cable and reads it. Nobody stands over a frozen robot and writes, "Robot is lazy" on the report. But that's exactly what you've been writing about yourself. For years. Today, we finally read the actual code. In the next few minutes, you'll learn three things. Why lazy is a diagnosis that has never once been correct. The 4 error codes that are actually running when you can't make yourself move, and the 4-step protocol that reads your code and clears it. Let's open you up. Start with the label itself, because the label is the trap. Scientists have mapped the brain down to circuits for fear, reward, memory, movement, even boredom. You know what's missing from the map? Laziness. There is no laziness lobe, no sloth circuit. Because lazy was never a mechanism. It's a placeholder. The word we write down when a behavior has a cause we haven't bothered to find. Watch what the word actually does. Say a robot on an assembly line stops moving. There's a code blinking right there on its panel. Low power, missing instructions, jammed servo. Now imagine the humans don't read it. They just scribble "robot is lazy" across the diagnostic screen and go to lunch. Case closed. Nothing fixed. Tomorrow, same frozen robot, same report. That's what "I'm just lazy" is. It's not an answer. It's the decision to stop asking the question. And it's worse than useless because it ships with a payload of shame. And shame is dead weight. It diagnoses nothing. It repairs nothing. It just makes the machine heavier. Here's what's actually true. Behavior always has a running cause. Always. When you can't make yourself do something, a specific system in your head is producing that result on purpose, for a reason it considers excellent. Your job isn't to insult the machine. Your job is to read the panel. And here's the good news that carries this whole episode. When a human freezes, it's almost always one of just 4 codes. 4. We're going to read every one of them, and you're going to recognize yours. Error code 1. Your brain is a miser, and it's supposed to be. That organ is 2% of your body weight burning 20% of your fuel, the most expensive thing you own. And it evolved across millions of years in a world where calories were rare and every wasted effort was a step closer to starving. In that world, the humans who lounged when nothing urgent was happening outlived the ones who burned energy for fun. Conserving effort wasn't a flaw, it was the survival feature. And the accountant never got fired. Before every task, your brain still runs the same math. Predicted reward versus predicted cost. Worth it or not? When the answer comes back, not worth it, you don't hear a calculation. You feel it as heaviness, as ugh, as I can't be bothered. That feeling is the invoice. Now the part that should lift a ton of shame off your shoulders. Every brain does this. Every single one, including the ones belonging to people you think have it all together. The couch pull isn't your personal defect, it's factory firmware, stock settings from a world that no longer exists. Error code 2, and this one is sneaky. Fog gets billed as weight. Your brain cannot start what it cannot picture. Look at your to-do list. Work on thesis. Sort out finances. Get in shape. Notice anything? Not one of those is an action. They're fog banks. There is no first move inside sort out finances. No muscle in your body knows what to do with it. And here's what the accountant from error code 1 does with fog. It can't price it. A task with no visible first step could take 10 minutes or 10 years, so the brain does what any accountant does with an unknown cost. It assumes the worst and prices it as enormous. Enormous cost, fuzzy reward. The math comes back no before you finished reading the list. So you scroll instead, and then you call yourself lazy. But watch closely because here's the tell. You're not avoiding the task, you're avoiding the fog. It's a mountain in the mist. Your brain can't see a path, so it refuses to fund the climb. Want proof? Watch what happens when someone burns the fog off. Not work on thesis, open the document and write one ugly sentence. We built a whole episode around this, the 2-minute rule, and this is exactly why it works. The moment a task has a first move small enough to picture, the price collapses, the math flips to yes, and the laziness evaporates like it was never there. Because it was never there. Fog, not sloth. Same mountain, the mist just cleared enough to show the first 3 steps. Error code 3 comes in 2 flavors, and both wear the lazy costume. Flavor 1, the reward is broken. Effort with no visible payout. The report nobody reads, the degree you picked at 17 for a person you no longer are, the goal that was never actually yours. When your brain refuses to fund those, that's not laziness. That's a correct verdict on a broken deal. It's a vending machine that eats your effort coins and dispenses nothing. And eventually, wisely, you stop feeding it. Apathy toward a pointless task isn't a malfunction. Sometimes it's the most honest output your brain produces. Flavor 2 is heavier. The fear is loud. If starting means being measured, and being measured means maybe proving you're not good enough, then not starting protects you. You can't fail what you never began. That's perfectionism, and from the outside, it's indistinguishable from idleness. But look closer at the person too lazy to send the application. They're not allergic to the form, they're terrified of the rejection. That's not laziness on the couch, that's fear in a bathrobe. Error code 4 is the simplest one, and the one we insult the most. The hardware is depleted. Sometimes lazy isn't math, or fog, or fear. Sometimes the machine is genuinely out of power. Sleep debt does this. A brain running on 5 hours prices every task at double, because for that brain, it costs double. Chronic stress does it. The engine idles at redline all day, and idling at redline burns fuel. Burnout does it. We did a whole episode on that one. The energy that goes missing only at work while the rest of your life still lights up. And sometimes it's something heavier than all of those, a condition that switches off the reward system itself. We ran a full diagnostic on it a few weeks back. Keep that episode in reach. An empty tank is not a character flaw. You wouldn't call your phone lazy at 4%. You'd charge it. So those are the 4 codes. Now plug in the cable. Here's the diagnostic protocol, 4 steps in order. Step 1. Name the real blocker. The next time the word lazy shows up, stop and read the panel. Is it miser math, a cost that outweighs the reward? Is it fog, a task with no first move? A broken deal, no payout, or fear dressed as idleness? Or an empty tank? One honest sentence. I'm not lazy, I'm blocked by blank. That sentence alone changes what happens next. Step 2. Shrink and sharpen the first move. Whatever the task, cut it down until the opening step is small and concrete enough to picture. Open the dock, put on the shoes, find the one phone number. You're not doing the task yet, you're clearing fog and dropping the price so the math can flip. Step 3. Fix the deal. If the reward is real but invisible, build one you can see. A checkmark, a streak, a payoff waiting on the far side. And if you look closely and the deal is actually broken, the goal isn't yours anymore, renegotiate it or walk away. Quitting the wrong goal isn't lazy either, it's accounting. Step 4. Check the tank. If everything feels expensive everywhere and rest genuinely refills you, then sleep first and diagnose later. But if nothing has a payout anywhere, not work, not friends, not the things you used to love, and rest doesn't touch it? Then this was never laziness at all. Take that seriously. We ran that exact diagnostic in the depression episode. It's linked below. Read the code, cut the fog, fix the deal, check the tank. That's the whole diagnostic. So no, you're not lazy. You've got a brain that bills every task like a nervous accountant, a starter that stalls in fog, a reward system that refuses broken deals, and a battery that sometimes just runs dry. That's not a character verdict, that's machinery. You're not broken, you're wired that way. And now that you can see the wiring, you can change the pattern. Next up, the internet's favorite fix: quitting dopamine cold turkey. No music, no sugar, no phone, no fun, and no idea how the chemistry works. On Sunday, I'll show you what a dopamine detox gets wrong and what actually recalibrates your reward system. It's cued for you right here. I'm Sparky. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.